Okay, we did a map of Istanbul public transportation. That is, we asked the students to collect all the data in the website of IETT, the bus company of Istanbul. And they also went into the ferry company. They collected all the data, one by one, all the routes, all the bus stops, and put them into a spreadsheet. Then we transferred it into a program called Cytoscape. It's an open source network visualization program. And the result is, with the result, we looked at some of the network metrics. The important thing here is that we want to emphasize is the network metrics, what they mean for us, or what they mean for designing new things. Previously, we had other measures, like in our normal world, we have other measures that we want to measure something, length, we want to measure weight of something or volume. Then we use those measures. There's a standard. If you want to compare something to another thing, this is how you do it. These are all individual things. You compare it with the others. When it comes to networks, that's a different story. It's something new. It's developing. Mathematicians knew it all the way for many years with graph theory, but it has to now go into the design space. As an example, when we did this map, the public transportation of Istanbul, that gave us the whole picture, all the bus stops, everything. And one of the measures that we used, which was very important, was the betweenness centrality that I want to talk about. Betweenness centrality is a measure that you measure all the shortest paths between all the bus stops. Of course, following the routes that exist. So if you want to go from bus stop A to bus stop B, what is the shortest path? A minimum number of stops. You take all of that and you look at how many times you're passing through one particular bus stop. So that bus stops between the centrality increases. If it is visited a lot of times, it is approaching to a number which is closer to 1. If it is not being visited a lot, then it is staying at something like close to 0.
Maybe you can draw this like a simple stuff.
Well, while you are doing that, maybe I can talk about urban metrics becoming a topic to be able to compare cities, to be able to describe cities in comparison to one another. As more and more people start to live in cities, city as an urban product, as a human product, people living together, designing cities as a collaborative, collective product, that is now being measured. So more and more we are talking about how we can describe cities in certain criteria that we all understand, apart from this city is a livable city. How do we describe that? Plus, not only cities, but a lot of products can now be described in network criteria. Everything that is relational can only be described by network criteria. Instead of measuring the same parametrics, you can measure a relational but different species of objects in a network quality manner.
Such as?
Let's talk about a university that has different departments, that has a student body with specific qualities and is situated in a city, in a campus that is separated, in comparison to another university that has relationships with the industry, etc. Those relationships make up a whole that you can compare with without being able to say this university has so many students and this university has so many students. If somebody comes to you and says, I studied in such and such university, you have an idea about it with the relationships that university has, not with the number of students that it has. So those temporal and more spread qualities make up a whole that you can compare certain bodies. So cities can be described with a relational aspect. So we need networks to be able to compare things that are not same in one aspect.
And in this example,
Okay, I tell you what it is. This is an example that I draw on purpose. This is a simple, very simple version of why betweenness centrality is important. This is something that you don't realize. You realize and you feel it in a city, in a bus stop, that you realize in your life you're not visiting the whole Istanbul bus stops, but you are living in this city, traveling some of the bus stops, and you know some of them are important. And the most of the time, the important ones are the ones which are being more crowded. Like this one, for example. There are many routes passing through. This is like 4 routes are passing through. So these look like very important bus stops. But the thing is that some of the bus stops or some of the locations are also very important. Not very crowded maybe, but they are being in the center line, like this one. This is, when you look at the whole map, not only your neighborhoods, for example, when you're looking about the crowdedness of this, you're only looking at the surrounding, the neighboring nodes. So you say, oh, okay, this is crowded. There are 3 routes are coming in. This is crowded. There are 4 routes are coming in. But with this one, there are only 2 routes coming in. But when you look at the whole network, when you look at all possible shortest paths between all the nodes in the network, then you realize that this is being visited most of the time when you're traveling from any one of the nodes to any other one of the nodes. Or to put it differently, if I remove this, then this network, the whole network will be divided into 2. So this is showing how important it is. So we looked at this is called the betweenness centrality, and we looked at the betweenness centrality of all the bus stops. So we found the most centralized bus stop. We also found the most centralized municipality within Istanbul out of all the municipalities. So this is different from, this is a new metric that we are not normally using. We are using other metrics. We are using other measures. This is a different measure that we have to be considering when making making a decision. So this is why it is for us important. And the nice thing about that is it's a global thing. So it's not taking account of only the surrounding neighbors. In order to calculate the betweenness centrality, you have to have a holistic understanding of the whole network. You have to understand everything, you have to know everything, and then to be able to calculate the betweenness centrality of only one of the nodes.
I think the actual